So, Chris, it's the new year, right, man? 2023. You know what I'm saying? And, we, the saying, you got to get your reps in, you know?
Okay.
Like, it's not always about the game. If you don't put in the work behind the scenes, you'll
Put
never
some
see
shots
it.
up.
Exactly. But I, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to this podcast, bruh, it's like practice. Are we talking about practice?
Okay. I'm
Like,
following.
bro, who other than us can do this? Nobody. And they want to talk about practice. Not the game. What AI say? Not the game. Practice.
Talking about practice.
No, we talking about AI today. Today we are talking about Megan.
Ooh, AI. AI reference.
Oh, y'all ain't see that
Okay.
one coming. Y'all ain't see that
could
one
be a
coming.
rapper. You could be a rapper.
I got bars now. But yes, man, first movie of the year, and I'm super excited. Welcome to the Why I'm Geek show, man. With your boy Chris and me, your boy G. It's episode 79, one away from 80 ball. It's the first movie of the year, and it was good, bruh. It was freaking
Ooh.
good. It was good to me. I feel like a vet now, because y'all know I don't do scary stuff, and I don't even know, is this a scary movie? Like, or is this like, what do you call these? You know what I'm
I
saying?
wouldn't call it a scary movie. I call it like a horror
Okay, horror,
comedy.
comedy, thriller.
It's like right there, like a thriller comedy.
Yeah,
It's
like,
just in the realm of horror. It's just not scary. You know.
yeah. Because I got scared a lot while we was watching it, but like, there was nothing about it that was like, I'm terrified right now. It was more so
It's
like
definitely not terrifying.
I was getting jump scared, and then
Mhm.
there was still a lot of laughs, but we'll get more into it. But Chris, how you
Yeah.
feeling going into this new year, buddy?
To be honest, G, new year, blessed to be in another year, 2023. I can't believe it.
I know.
Feels like a dream because we used to be some young guns, and 2020 and
Ooh.
beyond felt like the future.
Yeah.
And 2023, we get Megan, AI, we getting artificial intelligence is getting closer and closer. So it was interesting that this was the first movie,
Yeah.
and January movies have this reputation of being trash. They are always bad. And I like I said, I go to a lot of movies that come out in January.
Yeah.
There is a big high on the
Hmm.
December movies, and
Hmm.
then January is the garbage.
Right.
It's the garbage that really you're just going because you have nothing else to do on the weekend.
Hmm.
So I was excited to go see Megan. I'm a horror person. I love any type of horror movie. I'm gonna go see it. I
Yeah.
expect garbage anyway, and I was pleasantly surprised. The
Yeah.
theater was not filled though.
It was a lot more people than I thought it was gonna be for early, because we saw the joint matinee, so it was a
Yeah,
lot more
10
people to
10
me.
p.
Yeah, we saw the joint right after breakfast. Like, what's the first thing you do? First thing you see in the morning is Megan. That's kind of crazy, bro. I ain't gonna cap. But yeah, I think going into the new year, I'm stepping outside of my box. I feel like last year we took a big stride in going to see more stuff other than what we always see
Oh
and
yeah, I
like
agree.
normally. But it's like, I think that in combination with like the podcast and then just the movie club, like, I feel like I'm in my training arc. Like, one day I'll be able to watch something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but not right now though. Megan is all I got. That's all I got, bro.
We'll get you stepped up to the demonic stuff where you
Oh,
can look in the back of your seat as you're driving away. Like, yeah, you know what?
nah.
I ain't breaking no mirrors. You know.
Right. I freaking reacted to the Evil is Dead trailer, bro.
Oh, Evil Dead. Yeah.
Evil Dead trailer, yeah. And I was like, bro, I was like, what is this? Like, and looking back at that, it was super funny just to see my actual reaction because I was scared. I was in my whole house and I was
On
scared,
a
bro.
trailer.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, it was just gross. It was gross too. But let's get back on topic because Megan, I really liked how this movie opened. I really like seeing like the initial idea of what it could be, and then kind of see it get scrapped, and then like see what actually you know drove the inspiration to really finish the project. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning, I was like, what is happening? You know what I'm saying? We're in this snow covered road, and his family is driving super. I don't want to say it was. It seemed reckless because
Reckless.
yeah, because he was driving mad fast, and it was snowing like crazy, and it was like, why are y'all going today? Like it just didn't.
It's like a blizzard.
Yeah, it just didn't make a lot of sense. And it was it was just one of those things where I was just like, okay, I mean, what I thought we were going to see something like about Megan AI. These not even the people I seen in the trailer I saw. You know what I'm saying? So it starts off with the little girl and her family, and then it don't smack us right in the face, bro. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the youngest to get bodied like that, by that snow truck, but it was it was a good way to like set the tone for the movie because I feel like the themes that are in it are very like family oriented, but also like trauma, how you deal with trauma, how you deal with grief type of things, but like through a kid's eyes. But then at the same time, like we're there, they're getting help too. Like the adults were like finding their own ways to do things too. So it was for me the initial opening was good in that way. What did you think of the opening?
Two parts. I think it does seem like two different ways of doing it because they
Mm-hmm.
start off with that commercial, and to
Mm-hmm.
me, that was a single of it. This ain't a full on horror movie.
Yeah.
It's a little playful, and then we get the scene you're referring to where we're gonna uh the daughter, one of the main characters, they're gonna lose both their parents in this tragic accident to kind of set the tone of
Yeah.
how is she gonna make it through life now that both her parents are like gone. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so we're not going full on horror,
Yeah.
but we're gonna deal with some like a serious tone in a little bit of way, but we're not gonna go like too like heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was actually a really good start to it,
Yeah.
and it had just that little bit of tone of the toy company behind the
Mm-hmm.
scenes, like, oh well, this is your pet, and you only have screen time. Like that was all right in the beginning. Oh,
Yeah.
well, why do we have to get her that, or so attached to this little like
Device.
kid? Yeah, kids these days care about feeding an animal through an
that
iPad. You know what I
that
mean?
was
Like
crazy.
that's crazy. So it was
That
just
was
like a lot
crazy.
of good setup to me.
Yeah.
And I just like it because as you see the rest of the movie, it kind of is very much in line with the whole movie. So I think
Yeah.
it's solid. It's very good.
Yeah. Because if you think about like making a horror movie in 2023, like up to date, right? Like it's not your typical cabin in the woods type thing where it's like sit back in the day. It's like okay, like we're gonna make a new aged horror flick with gag humor and just like I don't want to say it's a better Chucky just because I ain't seen Chucky. I ain't seen the new Chucky like that, so I couldn't tell you if it was better or not. But I would say like it's in a similar vein because it's the whole toy route. Like how do we make a better version of that or a different version of that? You know what I'm saying? So I think I like that aspect of it. Um, I
It's
think
way better than Child's Play. Like the
okay,
latest Chucky is way
yeah,
better. But
yeah, okay,
just a little slap to Child's Play. You some
right.
trash. Hey,
Go off.
M3 gun, it got you. You know what I mean? Way better.
I'm weak. I'm weak. So I mean. um once we get past that, we start getting to the main little trio of this movie, which is the aunt, Gemma, and then uh we also have, forgot her name. What's the kid's name? I forgot her name.
Katie?
Katie, and then Megan. So Aunt Gemma makes Megan for Katie to help her deal with her issues, and also really to, you know, this is like her passion project, right? And um, I think it's really cool just seeing like the initial pitch, and then like how it's basically a failure, right? And then she becomes Tony Stark in her basement and just creates Megan within a week. And I was like, bro, this timeline is kind of wild, but I'm here for it. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Um, but what did you think of just like those three in general, like in the beginning of the movie?
To to be honest, I thought it was quite interesting to be in a movie where the main character is not a parent.
Yeah.
She gets a kid forced upon her, and instead of like trying to become a parent,
Mm-hmm.
she like pushes off that role
Right.
of being a parent completely.
Mm-hmm.
And it was creative because she pushed it off, like giving it to Siri. Like Siri raised the kid, and
Thanks.
it's just interesting because I just would never really think of it that way,
Mm-hmm.
and especially like nowadays, like kids. People say it all the time. Like we grew up, we play outside, we go play basketball. Go
Yeah.
meet the neighbor kids, go play
Go play in the
football.
woods. Yeah.
Yeah, and be home before the lights come on. And like nowadays, like kids are so on their phone, on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, on iPads. Like they're pretty much getting raised by these like devices. So
Mm-hmm.
to see like we take like a generational leap to like I don't feel like dealing with the kid or I don't even know how to raise a kid.
Right.
Let me let the AI raise the kid.
Mm-hmm.
The AI is gonna learn so much more, gonna know how to interact with the kid way better than Gemma, right?
Right. And
And
in a short period of time too,
yeah,
because you
and
got
it
that
and
whole added pressure of like the CPS worker or whatever lady,
yep.
the therapist that was like, yeah, we're trying, like the grandparents are trying to take Katie, and
Mhm.
it's like we never really got to understand the reason why that Gemma didn't trust or Katie's mom didn't trust the grandparents, but there was that pressure added there, so that was a whole nother element that, you know, like forced them into kind of speeding up the process of like, okay, we got to make this thing work, you know.
It was just very interesting to see, like, it almost makes you think, like, in the future, you know, we may not feel like we have, like, the capability to do something, whether it's dealing with the trauma or becoming a parent, and, like,
Mm-hmm.
how do we do that when our life is kinda already set, like, down a certain path?
Right.
But now we see like if Siri could do all of that, would people choose to do that? I mean, some people say,
Yeah.
"Hey, take the iPad, go in the corner. I'll see you in 5 hours because I'm about to watch this football game or something like that." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to see like that version on the big screen, and now we have an AI pretty
Mm-hmm.
much built to raise Katie.
Right.
And
Right.
at the end of the day, her friend even said like, you know, shouldn't you be like talking to Katie? Like,
About
shouldn't
that
you
stuff.
be the
Yeah.
one? Like, what are we designing Megan to do? And it's
Right.
just so interesting because when you're thinking about AI coming to life,
Yeah.
like what really would be the grand design? Like, it's just and I think
It.
that's why I really like the movie a lot. It's just so
Yeah.
interesting.
I think that's what got me initially invested the most in this movie, just because I knew it was like AI technology, and then like because I always feel like movies, I don't want to say they predict stuff to happen, but like we've been seeing, you know, AI become a thing like probably since like we was in school, right? Like it's been like mainstream. Um and I think I always think back to that, like the whole got the name of the AI, but it was like, a woman's face, and then like you could actually talk to it and stuff like that. And it was like something I saw on Twitter, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then I also remember seeing the flipping robot, and then the robot dog, and like all this other stuff, right? So like that initially got me invested. Like, okay, how are they going to, you know, evolve what's already out here in a movie sense, but also like kind of like I don't know if this is the right word, but juxtaposition the position of like AI and culture, right? Because one of the things in this movie that had me super surprised while I was watching it was just everybody's like oversight of Megan, like throughout. Like everybody was just like a little off put at first, but then was like immediately like, oh, this is cool, like and it just was with
Like
it.
so accepting of a robot.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like a human size anything is kind of wild to me,
Yes.
like I just
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't like, and you ask like what you know what is the purpose of AI? It should be more so to assist than
Not replace.
exactly, and that's what Gemma was trying to do, was
Yeah, deep
replace.
down.
Yeah, because I mean you could tell in her mannerisms like she's more invested in her work and like she's more comfortable in her own space than in like regular relationships with people. Every interaction she has with like from her neighbor to the daycare lady to like everybody that's not initially like unless she like her lab partner or whatever, like those are the only real relationships in this movie that you could see were pretty healthy. The rest of like her life was kind of like in opposition to the norm. You know what I'm saying? Like her whole crib was automated, basically, with the
Yep.
little robot thing already. So it's like what
And
are
she
they trying to
even
tell
goes to
us,
say like about screen time
Yeah,
at her house, like there is no like limit.
right.
So it's just kind of like to her technology, there's no issue at all, like
Yeah.
at any point.
Mhm.
And to kids actually in general, it's kind of like, what's wrong with me being on the iPad 24 hours, consuming YouTube or content 24 hours a day? And a
Right.
kid will think like it's good for me, but
Mhm.
deep down, it's a huge question like, is it actually beneficial? Like
Right. Right.
a
Cuz
kid will eat ice cream all day long, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, is that ice cream actually doing good? The kid's gonna say, yeah, it tastes
Right.
good as, but deep down, like
Yeah.
it may have some serious effects. And in this movie, we see Katie go crazy being attached to Megan. So it's just
Yeah.
a lot of interesting themes there in
Mhm.
this weird, like horror, funny movie.
Yeah.
So
There's definitely a lot there. And then I really I really liked how the movie kind of like walks you through it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like we see everything in little stages and they build up to this huge moment, right? And um one thing that I don't think like one thing about the movie like at the end was that it kind of just ended.
yep,
Like there was no okay, after this experience, how do you feel now? Like there's no catch up, there's no nothing, there's just a blinking light. And we'll get into that later on.
yeah,
But it just goes to show like the way it was paced, it was built on like little wins throughout. So
yeah.
I really, really enjoyed that. Even though I was scared a lot. So like uh to you, what was like your favorite like Megan moment? Because for me it was like every time that she was turned off, you didn't know if she was turned off.
a
And
hundred percent.
and the first time that she looked back, I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, she gave that stank eye.
yeah." And I was like, "Bro, I was like, oh no, she's never turning off for real, for real." Like,
And I mean, it's even like nowadays with like the whole Facebook and
mhm.
Twitter collecting your data, Instagram collecting your data. It's like,
Yeah.
when is your device ever actually off in
Yeah.
reality? Like somehow your data is being stolen every second. So it's
Mhm.
just interesting to see a real life AI version of it
Yeah.
constantly being like, all right, like
It's crazy. And
you
like,
think I'm charging, I'm giving me a
yeah.
stink eye.
And like the neighbor was like, yeah, and that creepy girl that stares out the window at 3 a.m. all the time.
Yeah,
And I
I saw
was
that
like,
shade.
I
You know?
was like, oh, so she done peeped it too,
Yeah.
you know? So
I in my mind I said if you try me one more time.
yeah, cause it's like, bro, the the little moments of just like silence, like awkward silence of like, cuz like constantly like you said, like Megan is reading somebody's face. Like we get to see the stats in the movie. So they can see like she can range of like you're anxious or you're nervous or you're scared or you're mad or whatever, right? So she's reading all those facial expressions. So it's like, yo, you can't really lie to the robot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even like, cause Megan's favorite thing is to sneak up on you. When you're
Mhm.
not, when you're least expecting it. And she did that so many times. I'm like, yo, like, why don't you say stop doing it? You know what I'm saying? Like, announce yourself. Like, that's one of like the oversights that they don't really like get into because like it's one thing like because Katie was always like, yeah, I learned so much more from Megan than even going to school and stuff like that, right? So like yes, like she got a whole bunch of knowledge and information because she's Google, right? But it's like with that, the whole point of parenting is the aspect of like, okay, yes, you might see this, but there's to more than more than what meets the eye, essentially. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like there's context to things, like, and there's nuance, and AIs don't get the nuance and stuff. So it's like it's a really cool like dynamic because it leaves you on the edge of your seat because it's like you're in a horror movie, so at any moment she can just freak out and do whatever. So you just sit on your edge of your seat like, oh, is it about to happen right now? And I
Yeah.
just really like I was like, wow, am I a horror fan now? Like, do I like this stuff? Because usually it's just like I wouldn't even touch it. So I mean, yeah, bro, this joint is like that. It's like that. But uh, what else you got for this joint? Because I mean, I still got more, but I just want to hear
Um
what your thoughts, some of your
I
thoughts on it.
just to piggyback on something that you said, like there's like scenes in the movies where you really felt like Megan was already like past the edge, but
Mm-hmm.
she was all still like manipulating the situation. And
Yeah.
only like until like the very, very last minute did
Mm-hmm.
she like completely say, all right, it's time to get down. I'm hacking everything. I'm going left. I'm going like she was
Right.
really acting like Ultron 2.0.
Yeah.
And to me like that's really made it really good because it we know she's gonna go crazy and throughout the like the forest scene when she's chasing the kid and she
Mm-hmm.
gets down on her knees and starts running like a dog. I was like,
Yeah. Why you doing
she
that? Yeah.
yeah, but she it's like we know she can like calculate everything on like
Mm-hmm.
how to do this. And then she
Yeah.
became like this master manipulator slash master serial killer. And you're like,
Yeah.
yo, these serial killer podcasts are dangerous because
Yeah.
Megan done read them all, figured out, and said, hey, you know what? I don't even gotta murder you. I don't gotta touch you. I'm gonna just lead you
Right.
down this cliff. I know
Right.
there's a cliff here.
I mean,
I
she
already
did
know
rip
what
his ear
happened.
off. She did rip
Oh,
his
true,
ear
true.
off.
That was crazy.
Yeah, but I'm glad you said that too because like you think of like what they always say the signs are, right? You see the signs prior to the incident and stuff like that. So like killing animals or like quick to kind of rage, and you can like even
Yeah.
when she
Killed
starts
that
snapping
dog.
back, killed that dog, start snapping back at Gemma, like it was like, bro, it's finna happen. Like I was just waiting at this point,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, if Megan moved next to me, I'm leaving. I don't want no parts of that, bro. Like,
And there was a lot of signs,
yes, plenty,
like
plenty.
early too. Like,
Yeah, like, bro, and it's it's weird to me, like the whole like palm thing, right? I think that was cool too, like how like you register to that person.
yeah,
Um, So Gemma was Megan's secondary user, right? So she could tell Megan to do stuff, right? Earlier on in the movie. But then she starts like making her own decisions and overriding that whole process. So if you're this smart that you can build Megan in your bedroom, finish building in your bedroom, got all the bread for it, right? There should be more parameters to like, you know, stopping them from going too far, or like shutting off, instead of like, hey, look at this pen real quick, you know, and then boop. Like, it was cool the first time, but it's like, yo, that's not gonna keep working, bro, because she gonna remember that, you know. And like seeing things like the cloud in this movie too, what had me super paranoid, because it's like, dang, everybody uploading everything to the cloud. Like, anybody can get that job probably in one day, you know, like it just accessing whatever. But I mean, this joint,
Megan even they had a parameter, kind of like what you're saying, for the AI not to learn what death was.
yeah,
And then Megan done loop de looped out of that and then learned
mm-hmm,
what death was. And I was like, yo, this is getting crazy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because like you said, now she's gonna start exploring. And then she even said, I don't even know what I am, because
mm-hmm,
everything dies. That's what Gemma was telling Katie, like everything dies. And then
yeah,
Megan was like, will I?
right.
And like you said,
That's, I
if
was
I get
like,
uploaded
oh,
to the cloud, like
yeah,
how am I gone? I'm not.
right. And then like and that goes back to like Jim and not wanting to parent. Now you have to parent twice, you know,
Yeah.
because like I didn't think about it until uh Megan really started talking about it, when she was like, all those late nights we spent together talking about this and that. So I'm like, yo, this relationship
Well,
has been going plenty long.
mhm.
So I feel like there's something, there's the gag factor of like, sometimes you gotta just let some of the stuff go in this movie, because I feel like that's one thing that like, you don't hurt humans no matter what should be just straight law.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hurt living things, you know? Like, yes, you want to protect uh Katie, but you don't want to hurt somebody else to do it, essentially. Like, you don't want to go too far, because she's freaking made of titanium, bro. So like it's like, so simple stuff like that. It's just like, man, like the oversight and like the, looking past things. It's like, man, like she put way too much faith in technology
Yeah.
to like be the answer when she has no proof that it is the answer. You know what I'm saying? Because she was kind of contradicting herself throughout the movie, and even when her lab partners like was checking her on it, she was like, "Nah, we're good. Like, this is the best thing for her." Now it's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, it's the best thing for you, because you ain't gotta do nothing else."
Yeah.
So, um, but I feel like we done talked a lot about like just the I don't want to say more serious sides of things, but like the more um I don't know.
Philosophical stuff.
Yeah. Let's get more into like the funny stuff, because there's still a lot of humor in this joint. Is a lot of, I don't know if gag is the right word, but what was your favorite like funny moment from Megan, and like the just what she was doing out here, bro?
I don't even remember the scene. It was like one of the coworkers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Megan like said something or
Uh-huh.
did something, and then he was like, "I'm gonna go get coffee." Like he was
Oh, I
like,
know exactly what you're talking about. So this was after they had like, she had turned her off, right? And she wrapped her up in bubble paper. This was right before the final act started. And
uh,
then she took her to the office, and they were having a conversation of like, there's this missing data and all this other stuff, right? And then Megan was sitting on the couch, and they were all having this conversation, and then Megan fell over a little bit. Gravity got to it and fell over, and it made a noise, and he was just like shook, because he was like, "Oh, she's behind us, like she's about to turn up," You know, because I feel like he was the most sensible person in this whole movie because he ain't trust that joint from the jump. You know.
He was kind of like, I'm cool with us going forward, but he was like, if you're
Yeah.
telling me this thing is doing all this stuff, I'm kind of like,
Yeah. Like, should we be
I don't
doing
think we
this?
should do it. Like, I
Yeah.
ain't gonna be here.
Like, this is my 9 to 5 type beat. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to get a check real quick. You know. So.
and and they do have like a lot of small things that are like funny because I did laugh in the movie,
Hmm.
and just deep down, I'm like, it's really not as scary at all.
Yeah.
It's just very like, you know what? We're gonna launch this. It's gonna be good. We're gonna make a lot of money. And then as Megan keeps like acting up, everyone's like, that creepy dog, kind of like Chucky. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. We're looking through it. It looks fine. Let's just keep it going.
Right. Like once they went into production off of one like instance, like all I needed to see is one. Right now, you want to build a million of these things. I was like, bro, what are y'all doing, bro? I was like, y'all need a bigger sample size than one AI that's built for one person because what happens when you get Megan for somebody that's freaking violent and wants to fight and destroy everything? Like, you think Megan gonna take that? I don't think so.
Like they've fast tracked Megan. Like no matter what
Super.
you say, there's just
Yeah.
no way. I mean, you got a point. There's no way she finished artificial intelligence in the
Mm-hmm.
basement a single night, and then there's no way we're just gonna rush it to production without even trying like anything. Like
Yeah.
they did not even see like how much Megan could lift up. But that to me, that would have been more even funner to put into the movie instead of some of these like 15 minutes. Like they kind of don't didn't really need the movie.
Yeah.
Like let me see what Megan can do. What can Megan not do? Like
Mm-hmm.
they could have shown a thing that said Megan's like, I can't go in the water, like I can't do
Right.
this, and like lead into later on in the movie, but
Mm-hmm.
really test out, like show Megan lifting weights, pumping iron, because it's like
Yeah.
the movie ain't that serious. So let me see what an AI titanium robot
Right.
AI wants to do, wants to learn. Like,
Yeah.
can I lift this? How much can I push my titanium body to the limits?
Right.
Um, I don't know, like a lot more interesting stuff that I feel like an AI learning the world would want to know before
Mm-hmm.
it goes on its killing rampage. Like,
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, because I feel like the the portions of the movie where it's like you forget that Megan is a robot. Like, so like decisions going into like why is she made of titanium? What toy is made of titanium? You know, like AI is AI. AI is technology versus like when you're building a doll. Why can't it be built out of plastic or like something, polymer or whatever it needs to be? Why is it human sized? Like,
yeah,
if it's for emotional support and to play and things like that, like you don't need it to be a, you know, regular size. Like it's a toy is supposed to be a toy,
yeah,
you
like it
know?
would have been fun to have that, like that other coworker saying like, "Why it
Yeah.
gotta be titanium?" And then the other one to be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"It's cool. You see her lifting. She can lift
Right.
50 pounds." Like to
Right.
me, the movie is playful enough that I thought they could have got away with explaining
Mhm.
the dumbness of her being that tall,
Right.
that strong, type made of titanium. It just would have been a lot more fun to see it happen. But
Yeah, cuz I don't
I'm
think
not gonna knock it too much.
I wouldn't want them to take that necessarily out of the movie, but it would have made more sense in the development stage because all the development stage was just time lapses. Like they didn't really ever get into the actual technology. They just told us what it was. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been cool to get a little bit more of that in there. But I think my favorite moments in this movie, like from a funny and comedy standpoint, was the musical numbers. Because
Oh,
from the her singing because the titanium song which is like ode to how she's made of titanium to all the little TikTok dances turned to murders. I was just here for all of that. I was geeking.
yeah,
And um just like the callbacks to other scary stuff where
yep,
like she goes into like the whole like lights start flashing and stuff. She goes and starts cracking all her
yeah.
joints or whatever you want to call it, and it gets into that mode, and that's when you get the horror aspect of the movie. Because the most part of the movie, it's more so like, oh, what could she do? Like,
Yeah.
how far could she take it? You know, um, but I really did enjoy this joint, like more than I was expecting to. Like I went into this joint thinking it was gonna be bad, like you did, just because it's January and the subject matter. But they definitely went crazy on this joint. The director was Gerard Johnston, and you know, it was dope, bro. It was super dope. Some of the cast, I don't know all these people, but they got the Allison Williams, and you said she was from Get Out, right?
Yep.
That was Gemma. Violet McGraw was Katie. Megan, there's two Megans on here. One's is Jenna Davis, and the other one's Amy Donald. So I'm assuming one is more so voice acting
Good
than
job
the other one.
on the Megan
But
thing because it looks enough to be
yeah,
like it moves enough to be really scary, and then it's also like, oh, it's kind of robotic. It's really weird how they did Megan because it's not like
I need to
too
look that up.
clunky.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not too clunky, but she was like semi real. I'm like, all right, you know what? I like it, even like when she's walking and stuff. So
yeah. But it's like, did you look up how they did that or no?
no, but it didn't seem like it seemed too like cheap, you know?
Yeah, it felt like it was more so like
Like they getting
probably like
good.
how they made Nebula from Game of
Yeah, maybe.
Thrones. I mean, not Game of Thrones. I say Game of Thrones
Uh,
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Yeah,
But
and then like the
good job, y'all.
to promote this movie, they had like a group of Megans. So
Yeah,
like it don't take much for like, I mean, not don't take much. It's obviously hard to move like a robot and like a human at the same time.
yeah,
But like just from seeing that on TikTok, I was like, oh, I gotta see how they filmed this joint because Megan is vicious,
yeah.
vicious.
Definitely
But
interesting film work.
mm-hmm, for sure, for sure. So Chris, um, what did you rate this joint? Because I feel like we done talked pretty much all about it.
No, it's pretty tough. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm feeling an
Mm,
8.
okay.
Uh, I enjoyed myself. It's a good time at the movies.
I forgot you. I
It's
forgot you give that Zenkai boost to scary movies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like to me, it could be funnier, it could be playful while also
hmm
having the creepy aspects to it. Like I just feel
Yeah,
like even like that hallway scene or the murders could have been more elaborate
yeah,
while
and it
also
wasn't a lot of
having
them either.
yeah, while also having those playful moments
Mm,
being like fun. Like literally we can go into like the whole fun tone where Megan is being Megan and manipulating a little bit. And then when we get to the horror signs, like we going crazy, like we going
yeah.
dark. But I think they ended up making it PG-13. So
Mm,
I'm just wondering maybe if they said it didn't work. But to me, that forest scene when she got down on her knees and then started just running, like that
yeah,
could have been way creepier, way more
that
horror.
was
Like just
mad goofy.
yeah,
Like
like they, it,
that's how I run in my nightmares because I can't run for real. So I
mhm,
get on all fours and I just go like that, and that's the
yeah.
only way I can move. I don't know if everybody
I
else
just
has
feel
that
like she
experience, but
if she really
random
wanted to
thought.
like mess around, like she could have like really done
Yeah,
ran way faster and then like zooped around, like freaked the kid out a lot, and it'd be
yeah.
like a little bit more scarier.
hmm
And even
That
that when she
that
crept
scene
out of
was
the dark,
weird though. That scene was mad weird though. I'm
yeah,
not gonna cap.
it
Like
was.
it was very strange to put
Yeah,
in a
well, yeah, we
movie.
ain't gonna talk
I'm
about
not gonna talk too
that.
much about it. If you've seen it, you know what we talking about.
But
Um,
even when she was in the stall and she crept out of the darkness, like they could have done it so much more freakier.
oh
Like
yeah,
even like have her eye glow, a little bit
yeah,
more horror aspect where we're like, yo, she about to go crazy. But it's just
yeah.
like to me, it could just do a little bit more. But overall, I think it's really good. It's really solid and it's way more memorable than Child's Play.
Mm.
And to be honest, I think it's good enough to warrant potentially a sequel. Like I'm wondering if it did enough to do it, and I think it's right there to get more.
They already
Um,
announced that they're working on it. They're gonna
oh,
get a
that's
sequel.
good.
They're
That's
definitely gonna
good
get a
because
sequel.
it's solid enough. So
Yeah.
overall, 8, and it was a well worth the 775 that we paid for. So what do you think about G?
So we definitely in sync with this one. I gave it an 8 out of 10 as well. Um,
Mm.
I I just think it's a good movie. It's not something I would probably watch again, but it was like not a waste of time. It was a crazy way to start my day, but um, I really really enjoyed like just the thought process that I went through while watching this movie because there was a lot of moving elements that they introduce us to, and then also like just bringing up the conversation of what AI could be eventually and what it obviously shouldn't be in this case. But I think it brings up a cool conversation. And then I'm just I'm getting my reps in. Next, I feel like a vet now in the scary movie world, bruh. I don't think I'm paranormal level yet, but definitely like the silly gag types of horror films. I got Michael Myers done. Now I got Megan, and next up is Scream. You know what I'm saying with young
Jump.
Jenna. So it's all over the place. But I did enjoy this joint. I got some geeks in there, and it was solid, bro. It was definitely solid. Now, as far as like the sequel, um, I if I was to do the sequel, what I would want to see in the next one would be for her to get like uploaded to the cloud, right? But then her basically rebuild herself, like in some shape or form somehow, because she's just that big brained, you know, and then go full on Ultron and go crazy. That's what I want to see. What was you gonna say?
The only thing I was gonna say is I agree with you. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but if it was on Netflix and I had some friends over and we were
I ain't never
scrolling and
seen it.
Megan was there and they
Yeah.
hadn't seen it, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch it again with you.
Okay.
Like
I respect that.
that's the type of movie where it's like, oh yeah, I'll definitely watch it if someone else ain't seen it. But alone, I probably wouldn't see it again. But
Where well, I mean, that's it for our Megan take, man. Before we get out of here though, it's the first episode of the year, so um, we got a list of the movies that are coming out, and just want to gauge, what I'm saying, see what you guys want us to cover also, and then just I want to hear what some of the stuff Chris is excited for as well, because I already dropped my list on like Instagram and stuff of my top 10, but I feel like we're in a good year for movies this year. So like, um, Chris, what is some of the movies that you're most excited for this year? I'm just curious.
100% Scream 6. Uh,
Hmm.
Scream is definitely my favorite slasher. So,
Okay.
and I've always loved the way the Scream movies are. It's such a good time, like sitting down, watching it, figuring out, and getting it wrong, and then being like, "Dang, I gotta watch it." So I've always really liked the Scream movies. Some of them aren't good. Some of them are, in my opinion, the best ever all time.
Oh,
But uh,
I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So I'm and they got my girl in it, so I think it's gonna go crazy. The next movie is definitely Super Mario Brothers, just because it just finally feels like it's time. Like animation's
Wow.
running short.
Yeah. It looks
Um,
amazing, bro. And it got
yeah,
good voice actors too.
yeah. So I'm hoping that one really lands is to become like the best of the best. Like I really hope that's it. It may not. It may be too kiddie,
Chris Pratt got to
but
deliver, man.
yeah. And then the last one is my favorite director,
Mm.
Christopher Nolan in Oppenheimer, which is the guy who
Oh,
making the nuclear bomb. And
yeah.
it's gonna be a weird movie because normally Christopher Nolan's made for like his twists in movies
Mm.
and the crazy concepts and visuals looking ridiculous. I think he did Tenet, Interstellar.
10 is
My
good.
favorite one is The Prestige with Wolverine and Batman in it.
Mm.
Not actually them, but the
Yeah.
actor. And
Right.
then I'm just really excited for that because I've always liked every single movie he's ever made. For some reason, I'm just like, dang, this is some genius level stuff. And it may be a different style of movie, but I know the nuclear bomb is gonna look crazy on screen. But because he's my favorite director, I'm just assuming that's gonna be a 10 out of 10 no matter what. Can't wait to
Mm.
see it. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 anyway.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if that holds up in court. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
what you
okay.
think, G? What are your movies for sure that you too geeked about this year? Because it's
All
pretty
right.
good lineup.
So I know I started the pod saying how our palette has expanded to great lengths, right? And we're talking about Megan right now. Chris talking about Scream. Like for me, number one, Spideyverse. That's the only thing I want to see right now. I love the art style. I love like being able to see all the different Spider-Man in this joint. The cast is gonna be amazing. Issa gonna be in that joint. Oscar Isaac, one of my favorite actors, gonna be in that joint. And I just don't know what they're gonna do. Like, cause there's the comic side of it, cause I'm getting more into that too. That I don't know if they're going directly go from that, but I'm really really excited just because this is part one. Like they already like they finna go crazy. So like I'm super excited about that. And then after that is another Marvel movie, Quantumania, man. I mean, cause
Soon, that's soon.
I know Jonathan Majors is my favorite actor right now, and his performance in Loki as Kang had me super hyped because it's just like we finally met who's in charge, and he changed the whole course of the universe in one episode. So, uh, seeing Kang and I'm not too crazy about Ant-Man and the Wasp aspect of it, but I'm just trying to see how he's going to elevate that whole franchise in that sense. And then third, dang, bruh, I guess I didn't change, man. This is Guardians.
Guardians.
Am I just a Marvel geek? Like, am I just geeked on Marvel, bro?
Guardians.
Uh, and
They got a good lineup this year, though.
they do,
Much
they
different than
do.
last year.
Yeah, like last year was a dud, but this year it's looking a lot more promising. At least movie wise. So, you know, Guardians 3 from the trailer, I'm afraid. I'm afraid and I'm ready to cry, and I just need to see what's going to happen. They haven't failed me yet. They have some moments, but I think Guardians is like, as far as like a cast of characters, is one of my favorites. And then James Gunn is James Gunn, but other than that, let me get something that's not Marvel, because I got it on here. I definitely got it on here. Let me see. John Wick, that's gonna be dope, and Doom. I'm excited for
Yeah.
Doom. Doom was
Major
like one of my
setup
favorite
in
ones.
that first movie, so I hope that part two is a hammer. Like I hope I get blown away. Like, dang, this is some of the
Yeah,
best stuff I've ever seen. So
right.
hope.
Cause now we're gonna finally get to see him in his like, oh, this is who he's supposed to be. You know,
Yeah,
like
like what can he really do?
I don't know. So I'll find
We
out.
don't know.
I'll find out. But that it's plenty of stuff coming out this year. I'm super excited about too. I'm not gonna get into. I just list them off real quick. So we got Creed 3 is coming out. There's a Dungeons and Dragons movie that's coming out. It looks like it's gonna be pretty good. Fast X, possibly the last Fast and Furious movie.
I ain't falling for it.
One thing I'm not falling for is Transformers, but I'm still gonna go see it. Little Mermaid, that's gonna be dope. Mission Impossible at some point. Pixar got Elemental coming out. The Flash is coming out. I don't want to get into that.
That's a big question mark.
Yeah, they need to let that man go. But let me see. The Marvels, not really excited about that, but I'm gonna watch it. Ghostbusters, Blue Beetle, Aquaman 2. All the DC stuff is up in the air. We don't, like it said it's supposed to come out, but they finna scrap everything, bro. So it's looking pretty good though, for the most part. And then we still got plenty of shows that are dropping too. So definitely be looking out for those. We're gonna coordinate whatever episodes we're gonna or what shows we're going to tackle. I have failed in my One Piece arc, but I will pick it up at some point when I get inspired. And yeah, that's what it's looking like. So, Chris, man, what you geeked about, man? What you geeked about? Don't say what I think you're gonna say, cause I'm gonna be mad.
I really, what I'm geeked about right now, I ain't geeked about nothing, bro. I've been searching up and down Netflix. I've been searching up and down
Okay.
uh, HBO Max
Mhm.
and Amazon Prime,
Ooh.
and I'm in a drought to the point where I might have to return to the One Piece saga. Like, I might just have to just for a little bit, maybe the rest of January. I just
Mhm.
stay on the One Piece grind because I've been watching a few shows here and there, and I'm not getting interested. I'm like,
Okay.
ah.
Even I
So
feel like
hopefully,
Netflix been going crazy though,
yeah.
low
But I
key.
left some shows on like the like 3 or 4 episodes in, like The
Oh, I can't
Watcher
do that.
and
I gotta finish
Midnight
it.
House Club or whatever it's called. It's just a certain some things I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like deep diving all the way in right now. So
Mhm. Nah, I
I'm gonna
respect that.
just say I'm geeked. So hopefully I get a little bit farther One Piece, and then maybe I can do like all the movies type thing. But what you
Okay.
geeked about this right now, G?
So so for me, Netflix been going crazy. I don't know what Chris watching. I don't know what is on his top 10, but I've been watching The Recruit. I'm watching The Recruit, and I really like
I've
it.
been passing on that.
Yeah, I because it's very reminiscent to me of Burn Notice, which is like one of my favorite shows all time. It's an OG like spy show, and it's just like the opposite. So like Burn Notice is somebody that just got burnt out the CIA, right? Got dropped, and now his whole life is messed up. But he's like the number one spy in the world, right? But the recruit, and hence the name, the recruit is like he just getting started, but he like that though. Like he got the gift of gab, and he can get out of any situation. And it's a pretty dope cast as well. But I've been watching it. I'm almost done with that. Um, I finished Succession, and that was really good. I enjoyed that because it's like I enjoy more so how they filmed that than like the actual show. Like the show itself is pretty like self-explanatory. And it doesn't really change. The only thing that really changes like the job, and like they can just keep going with that as long as they want. I think I'm more excited for season 4 now, just because they finally got out of that loop. Like the first 3 seasons, it was like the same thing over and over again. But this last season, or this next season coming up, it's finna get wicked. But the thing I'm actually super super geeked about, man, is this right here. Oh, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. If y'all on YouTube, y'all gotta go on YouTube, man. Cause I'm upgrading my collection. Upgrading my collection. I got 2 new Black Panther comics, and I found a new thing. I found, I found a new thing. So I've started collecting these and reading these, and because I just want to like, after seeing the movie, like there's still so much in the comics that I don't know or I've just heard in passing, but I just want to know more. Like the movies is not enough. Like, and I mean the movies are great. Don't get me wrong, the movies are great, but or one movie is great, the other one's alright. But it's just like as a character of in T'Challa, I just want to know more about him. So like slowly but surely, I'm not the biggest reader, but I love art, and like that's just the biggest combination of that. And I just get to learn more, have it in my hand, and just trying to get something new. Cause I ain't never have no comic book shop near me, so it was never like a thing for me growing up. But I always like drawing and stuff, so it's just like every time I look at them jumps, I be like, ooh, I be geeked off the joints. But um, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm geeked about this week. I'm geeked about this first episode of the year, and everything else we got going on, man. So, Chris, you got anything else before we get up out of here?
Nah, I'm gonna go watch this national championship game and then
Yes, sir.
go to sleep because it's gonna run late.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. But appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. And hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, rate the podcast 5 stars on your favorite podcast platforms, and leave a comment, man. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about Megan. We're gonna catch y'all in the next video, man. Y'all be easy. We're gonna see y'all next week, man. Stay geeked. Peace.